Okay, so today we get to work on converting customary units of measure, and this is what we use in America. We're pretty much the only ones that use this crazy system, but it's what we're used to and it's what we're most familiar with. But there's a lot of things to remember. So at the very top, what we're going to do is we're going to start out just by filling in some common units of measure for length, and then we have weight or mass, it's called both, and then also capacity. So you need to know, first of all, that 1 mile is equal to 1,760 yards. So 1,760 yards, or if I want to name it in feet, it would be 5,280 feet. Okay, we know that 1 foot is equal to 12 inches. We know that 1 yard is equal to 3 feet, and 1 yard is also equivalent to 36 inches. So here's some common measurements that will be helpful for you whenever you are working with length in the customary system, which is actually going to be today. You're going to start some of that today. Tomorrow, you're going to focus on the weight, mass, and capacity. So let's go ahead and fill in our helpful table up here. So we have 1 ton, which is 2,000 pounds. And 1 pound is equivalent to 16 ounces. If you don't have these memorized yet, it'd be a good idea to start practicing. Maybe make yourself some flashcards to help you remember, because again, this is a system that we use here in the US. So it's handy to know and pretty easy. Well, not easy, but it would be very helpful if you had them memorized. So try and work on it. If you have some of them memorized, that's great. Maybe try and trickle in and add a couple more if you can. Okay, capacity, that's how much something can hold. So we're talking about volume. So 1 gallon is equal to 4 quarts. And I'm using the abbreviation for these measurements. 1 quart is equal to 2 pints. And 1 pint is equal to 2 cups. And 1 cup is equal to 8 fluid ounces, which are different than the other ounces that you saw over here, because we're talking about weight and mass here. Fluid ounces is when we're talking about volume. Okay, so something to help you when you are converting between the customary measurement system. When you are going from a larger to a smaller measurement, so think about yards to feet. 1 yard has 3 feet. So yard is longer than a foot, if you can picture like a yardstick and a ruler. So if I'm going from larger to smaller, I want to multiply. We would multiply all. So multiply them all together. But if I'm going from a smaller measurement unit to a larger one, then I want to divide. So over here, we want to make sure that we put divide. Kind of looks like this guy. So if you're looking at these pictures wondering what in the world, we are multiplying. He's got his arms crossed to help you remember large to small. So if your arms are open and you cross them, you go from big to small. They're wide open, you cross them, that means multiply. From small to big, now it's like a division symbol. Okay, so that will help you remember what you need to do when you're converting from different measurements. Another thing to help you remember, if you're visual, is what you're probably familiar with, the gallon guy. So gallon guy will only help you with capacity, but it's still a great tool to use. So let's go ahead and fill in gallon guy. I'm going to color code him so that you can see different parts. So in gallon guy, I have 4 quarts. And inside of each quart, I have 2 pints. So looking at this, before I continue, I can see that 4 quarts are equal to 1 gallon, and 8 pints are equal to 1 gallon. 2 pints are equal to 1 quart. 4 pints are equal to 2 quarts. So this is really helpful, and I also have like a gallon superhero hanging up on the wall by the whiteboard, so you can use that too. It's just a visual. It's there for you to use if you need it. But gallon guy is something that you can draw out on your own if you want to. Okay, let's go ahead and keep going. So now I'm going to switch colors and I'm going to add in my cups. So for every pint, there are 2 cups. So I'm going to write little C's inside of each of the P's. And I can see that there are 4 cups in a quart. There are 2 cups in 1 pint. And inside of each of those cups, in addition to that, one more thing is 1 cup equals 8 fluid ounces. So one of these little cups equals 8 fluid ounces. Okay, so now we can use some of the information that we have either up here in this table, the hint to help us figure out if we're multiplying or dividing, or if it's capacity, we can use gallon guy. So we're gonna have a lot of examples on this page that you can use as you're working through your practice today and tomorrow. All right, so here we go. Remember, small to big, we divide, big to small, we multiply. So let's start with our yards and our feet. I know that 1 yard is equal to 3 feet. If I have 2 yards, I'm going from big to small. So I'm going to multiply times 3 and I get 6. Then here, and why did I multiply by 3? I multiplied by 3 because up here I know that 3 feet equals 1 yard. So if I have 3 yards, I'm going to multiply by 3 again, and I know that that's equal to 9 feet. And if I do it again, I know that 4 yards is equal to 12 feet. Okay, now let's hop over here to my quarts and pints. So we just talked about this one a minute ago. 1 quart is equal to how many pints? Well, what do we know? We know that a quart has 2 pints in it, which means that 1 quart is equal to 2 pints. 3 quarts would be equal to, here, we're gonna jump over here to see it, okay? 3 quarts, I can draw myself pictures if I'm a picture person, 1 quart has 2 pints in it. So if I were to draw my pictures like this, 3 quarts, I have 6 pints inside of 3 quarts. 1 quart, we know, is equal to 2 pints. 3 quarts is equal to 6 pints. Look at the relationship. 1 quart is 2 pints. I'm going from big to small. Notice my G is huge. It gets smaller and smaller and smaller until I can't fit an ounce inside of these cups. So when I'm going from big to small, I'm multiplying. So 3 times 2 gave me 6. You have to know that there are 2 pints in a quart to do a conversion using multiplication. All right, let's look at it in a table. So if I fill in this table, if I have 1 quart, I know that it's 2 pints. Well, if I have 2 quarts, that should be 4 pints. And then 3 quarts, of course, is 6 pints. Okay, you can come back to these notes if you need to hear me explain again. You can use these notes in your in your journal, so that you can use this table to see your most common conversions. Your reminder here for multiplying and dividing, and of course, gallon guy will be helpful too. Okay, so you guys are about to start 11.3 practice. It's all about customary conversions just in length. Tomorrow you will do capacity, and you will also do mass in the customary measurement system as well. We'll check all of that together on Monday when I get back.